Now I'm going to do something pretty interesting for you today. If you remember the last video, we tied an Abby as a Catskill dry fly, but it was originally an old school classic wet fly. In fact, it was one of the first flies in Ray Bergman's Trout. So after doing that one, I got to thinking that there are a lot of old classic wet flies that we can tie either as a dry or a streamer. So I was flipping through this and I found a pattern called the Green Mantle, which is a beautiful, classic, elegant wet fly, but I think it would make a good candidate for a streamer. So our lesson for today is don't be afraid to experiment. Take an old known pattern, change it up, tie it however you want. I mean, there's no real rules here. So this Green Mantle tied as a streamer, I think it turned out to be a pretty cool looking fly. So there it is in the vise, a Green Mantle, a classic Ray Bergman wet fly tied as a streamer. I'm tying this on a size 6, 3 extra long barbless streamer hook. And I'm going to use some black 140 denier thread. Just go ahead and catch this in anywhere in the middle, bring it back toward the end of the hook. First thing we're going to catch in is our tail. Just a green slip. This is duck. Goose would be just fine. I'm going to go pretty long here. Just try to pinch the feather and the hook at the same time. Medium wrap right there. A couple wraps, take a look at it. See, that one's kind of all over on the side. Let's see if, before we really secure it, let's see if we can't bring it back up on top. Yeah, that's close enough. Maybe. All right. Some tight wraps right here, and you don't have to worry about making a little lump right there because we've got a pretty thick yarn body. So take your thread back up here, maybe a couple eye lengths back. And first thing I'm going to catch in is some silver Mylar tinsel. And this is a size medium. We could probably go with a small, but I mean, it is a streamer. It's going to be a pretty long body, and I want a good bit of flash, so I'm going with the medium here. Just loose open wraps till we get it locked in, probably on the side, so your first wrap will be coming from the side. That should work right there. Thread back up the front. And the one in the vise at the beginning was just 2 strands of a 4-strand wool yarn. I'm going to go full strength on this one. I think, you know, after the one I tied, I think we had enough. I mean, it wasn't overpowering, so I think we can get away with going with a full strand right here. So more loose open wraps, taking it to the back where we want to start wrapping our body. I think that's about it right there. Thread back up to the front, 2 or 3 eye lengths back. And now I'm going to need to park this Mylar out of the way with my magnet so it doesn't keep flopping around when I wrap this body. So just touch and turns all the way up to your thread. I'll speed this up so you don't have to watch the next minute in real time. Okay, that's a pretty thick looking body, but I think it's going to work. It'll actually make that rib stand out just a little bit more. So 2 or 3 wraps to secure that. Let's go ahead and snip this. And now just wrap this rib. And I'd put them as close together or as far apart as you want, depending on how much flash you want. I want a good bit of flash, but you know, I still want it to mainly be a green body, so not terribly close together. Okay, let's get a couple wraps to secure this. And with any Mylar tinsel ribs I usually put 2 or 3 tight wraps, fold it back, and a couple more going back just to really lock that in. In both pictures, the throat on this thing looked like a lighter, brighter green, so I'm gonna go with this chartreuse. And this was actually a grizzly dyed chartreuse, but I think we can get away with it. So flip it over, catch a medium-sized tuft of this end right here. Let's take our thread back a little bit. Okay, is that gonna be a long enough throat? Take a look at it. Oh yeah, that'll be fine. So let's go ahead and secure this, snip the excess. Now for the wing, I want to try something interesting here. This is a mallard feather, and this is just a tip. You see the stem going right through the middle? You got left and right side. I'm going to try to use this and just fold it over a little bit, see if we can make it work, kind of like a little tent here. Okay, yeah, that should work if I can get that tied on. Need my thread to be a little farther back right here. Come on, thread, you can do it. There we go. All right, that's where I want the back of my, head to be. So let's do a little pinch wrap right here and take a look at it. Okay, that wing's gonna be fine. It's a little flat, a little bit close to the body, but I think we can live with that. So let's just work on our head here. I'm gonna take my thread all the way back, get a big streamer head. And before I take my thread up front, I do have this little nub to contend with. That'll be ugly if we don't snip that and, try to clean it up just a little bit. And I'm gonna take my thread all the way back up right behind the eye and try to bury this little mess right there. All right, I think we're fine. We got plenty of room for a whip finish here. So there we go. Drop of UV resin or head cement and get you a nice, hard, shiny head. And I think we got a neat, interesting looking fishable fly. So that's it, my friends. I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.